Dear students and mathematics lovers, please welcome to the YouTube channel Mathematics Students Helper. Our present topics is vector space. This is actually part 2. Here I discuss about subspace. Here I give the definition of subspace again and examples, and I give a necessary and sufficient condition for subspace. Anyway, if you understand my video, then after watching please like the video and share it with your friends. If the channel is still not subscribed, please subscribe it and say your friends to subscribe the channel. At first, I give the definition of subspace, which is also given in previous video, that is in part 1. Let V be a vector space over a field F. Also let W be a non-empty subset of V. W is said to be a subspace or subvector space of V if W forms a vector space with respect to addition and multiplication, which are used in the vector space V over the field F. Suppose V be a vector space and W be a non-empty subset of V. Okay, it will be a subspace of V if itself a vector space with respect to addition and multiplication which are applied on V. Okay, here I write down W is said to be subspace or subvector space of V if W forms a vector space with respect to addition and multiplication which are used in the vector space V over the field F. You know, when a set forms a vector space, there are 10 conditions. If that conditions are satisfied, then V be a vector space. But here we have to show that W is a vector space also. So you have to satisfy all the conditions, all the 10 conditions by W. Okay. But we don't verify all the 10 conditions. There are a theorem. A non-empty subset W of a vector space V over a field F is a subspace of V if and only if number 1, alpha beta in W implies that alpha plus beta in W, and number 2, alpha in W and C in F implies that C alpha in W. So you have to satisfy 2 conditions instead of 10 conditions, then you can conclude that W is a subspace of V or subvector space of V. The first condition, for first condition you have to take 2 elements alpha beta from the non-empty set W, and then you have to show that their addition, that is alpha plus beta, is also in W. And second condition is you have to choose a vector alpha from W and a scalar, that is an element C from field, then you have to show that C dot alpha in W. C dot alpha means here between C and alpha there are multiplication. This is multiplication by scalar. You know that this is external composition or external operation. Okay, now I prove that theorem. Let W be a non-empty subset of V such that alpha in W, beta in W implies that alpha plus beta in W, and second condition, C in F, alpha in W implies that C alpha equal to W. So we choose a non-empty set W in such a way that W satisfies that 2 conditions. We have to show that W forms a vector space, that is, it is a subspace of V. So you have to satisfy, you have to verify 10 conditions. You know all the conditions. These are the conditions which are discussed in previous video, that is in part 1. There are 10 conditions. First condition, if you from first 5 conditions, that is, this is closure property for addition, this is commutative property for addition, this is associative property for addition, this is additive identity theta, and number 5 is additive inverse. So combining first condition, you can conclude that V plus is a commutative group, and there are some remaining 5 conditions. By multiplication you have to satisfy all the conditions. If all the conditions satisfied for V, then you can conclude that W is a vector space. That is, W is a subspace of V. Okay. Since F is a field, 1 is in F, 1 is the unity in F, you know the field, then therefore minus 1 is also in F. Since F is field, then F plus is a commutative group, so additive inverse of 1, that is minus 1, is also available in F. Let alpha beta are two elements in W by the condition 2 minus 1 dot beta, that is minus beta is in W. You show that here you assume that W is a non-empty subset of V satisfying that two conditions. From second condition we get that relation. Here I choose C as minus 1 and the vector alpha as beta. So minus 1 dot beta, that is minus beta, is in W. Okay. Again, by condition of 1 alpha minus beta, that is, you show that here we choose alpha beta two elements in W. Here also you see that minus beta also in an element in W. So if you choose alpha and minus beta two elements in W, then by first condition, that is from that condition, here alpha, here is minus beta, if that is the addition of that two elements, that is alpha plus or minus beta, that is minus alpha minus beta, is also available in W. Thus alpha beta in W implies that alpha minus beta in W. Okay. If we imagine the addition applied on V, then you see that beta is minus beta is the additive inverse of beta. Minus beta is the additive inverse of beta, that is alpha plus beta inverse, that is A composed B inverse in W for all AB in W. Okay. For any two elements, suppose A, B in W, A composed mean here plus, A composed minus beta means beta in B inverse, A composed B inverse is available in W. So we can conclude that W is a subgroup of the group B plus. W is a subgroup of the group B plus. Again, you know that V plus is a commutative group. So W plus is a commutative group because commutative property is an inherent property. Okay. Therefore, hence W plus is commutative subgroup of V plus. So W satisfy first 5 conditions for vector space. Actually, first 5 conditions is actually conditions for a commutative group. So here W plus satisfy all the 5 conditions. So you can conclude that W plus is a commutative subgroup of V plus. Okay. Hence conditions 1 to 5 for a vector space are satisfied in W. Now we satisfy remaining conditions, that is condition 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Condition 7 is satisfied by the given condition, because in second condition you know that for all C in F and for alpha in W, C dot alpha is also in W. Since condition, okay, so condition 6 is satisfied by the given conditions, and the remaining conditions, that is from 7 to 10, all the properties are inherent properties. These are satisfied in W. Okay, we know that inherent property is satisfied in a subset. So all the conditions are satisfied. Therefore, W is a vector space over the field F. Hence, W is a subspace of the vector space V. So we get the theorem: a non-empty set subset W of a vector space V over a field F is a subspace of V if and only if number 1 alpha beta in W implies that alpha plus beta in W. Number 2 alpha in W and C in F implies that C alpha in W. Actually, here I proved when W is a when the two conditions are satisfied, then W is a subspace. Now I prove this is actually if and only if condition. Now I prove if W is a subspace, then that two conditions are satisfied. Okay. Here, that is in that portion we prove that if number 1 and number 2 conditions are satisfied, then W is a subspace. But now we will prove when W is subspace, then that two conditions are automatically satisfied. Converse part. Let W is a subspace of the vector space V over the field F. then by condition 1 of vector space. Alpha beta in W implies that alpha plus beta in W. You know the first condition, this is the first condition. Okay, this is the first condition. For all alpha beta in V, alpha plus beta is V. So from first condition we can conclude that alpha plus beta is in W for all alpha beta in W. Okay. Now we have to prove that second condition. Second condition was if C belongs to F and alpha belongs to W, then C dot alpha is also W. For that purpose we consider C is an element and alpha in W, then C dot alpha in W by condition 6 of vector space. I hope that all of you know the conditions for vector space. Here you see that in condition 6, this is the condition 6. C dot alpha in V for all C in F and for alpha in V. For all C in F and for all alpha in V, C dot alpha is in V. So here C is an element in field and alpha be an element in W. So therefore C dot alpha, that is multiplication by C, is also in W. Okay. So both the conditions are satisfied. Therefore the theorem holds. A non-empty subset W of a vector space over a field F is a subspace of V if and only if alpha plus beta in W for all alpha beta in W and C dot alpha in W for all C in F and for all alpha in W. So this is the if and only if condition. When W is a subspace, then that two conditions are satisfied, and when that two conditions are satisfied on a non-empty set W, then W is a subspace or subvector space over the field F. Okay. You have to remember that theorem or that statement of the theorem for solving problems. Okay. The above theorem can be, above condition can be combined to a single conditions. That is, there are actually two conditions. You can combine that two condition in a single condition. The condition is that a non-empty subset W of a vector space V over a field F is a subspace of V if and only if C alpha plus D beta is in W for all alpha beta in W and for all CD in F. Okay. You have to combine that two conditions to a single condition. The condition is that C alpha plus D beta is also available for all alpha beta in W and for all CD is in F. That is, linear combination of alpha beta is in W. Linear combination will be discussed in part 4. You can see that video. Actually, this is a linear combination of alpha beta. If for any two elements their linear combination, if for any two elements in W, if the linear combination of that two elements is also in W, then W forms a vector space. That is, it is a subspace of the vector space V over a field F. But maximum students use that two condition to show the vector space, that is to show the subspace, not vector space. To prove a vector space, you have to condition satisfy 10 conditions, but for subspace it is also vector space, but for subspace you can check that two conditions. If both the conditions are satisfied, then you can conclude that W is a subspace of a vector space V. However, I give some examples to justify above theorem. Example 1, let W is a subset of R3 such that y equal to 0, z equal to 0. Examine whether W is a subspace of R3. Actually, you see that all the elements of W are elements in R3 satisfying some condition. Here the condition is y equal to 0 and z equal to 0. That is, second and third component are 0. You have to check that W is a subspace of R3. We know that R3 is a vector space. R3 is a vector space over the field real number, but we have to show that W is a subspace of R3. For that purpose, at first we show that W is non-empty. Here W is non-empty because 0, 0, 0 is available in W, because you see that the elements in W are such that the second component and third component, that is y and z, are separately 0. So here this is 0 and this is 0, second and third component, therefore this is an element in W. So we can conclude that W is a non-empty subset of R3. Okay. You can choose any other element W, suppose 1 0 0, 2 0 0, 3 0 0, 4 0 0, minus 2 0 0, root 7 0 0, root 7 comma 0 0. All the elements are in also available in W. But I suggest you to verify or to check the elements 0 0 0, that is null element, is in W or not. If you check, then you get another benefit. I discussed the benefit in example 3 or 4. However, here 0 0 0 is in W, therefore W is a non-empty subset of R3. We have to show that W is a subspace of R3. You know two conditions which are discussed. The first condition, for first condition alpha plus beta is in W for all alpha beta in W, and second condition is C dot alpha is in W for all alpha in W and for all C in F. Okay. For first condition, let alpha is x1 y1 z1 and beta is x2 y2 z2 is in W. Okay. Here we consider two elements alpha and beta from W. Now we have to calculate alpha plus beta, and we have to check either alpha plus beta is in W or not. Okay. Here, since alpha is in W, here show that in the W the elements are in such a manner W y equal to 0, z equal to 0. Therefore, here y1 equal to 0 as well as z1 equal to 0, and in beta y2 equal to 0 and z2 equal to 0. Okay. Now I calculate alpha plus beta. Here alpha plus beta equal to that plus that, that is x1 plus x2 plus y1 plus y2 plus z1 plus z2. We have to add component wise. Now alpha plus beta is in R3 because alpha plus beta has 3 components. Now alpha plus beta will be in W if second component and third component of alpha plus beta is separately 0, that is if y1 plus y2 equal to 0 and z1 plus z2 equal to 0. If y1 plus y2 equal to 0 and z1 plus z2 is equal to 0, then we can conclude that alpha plus beta is in W. Now y1 plus y2 equal to 0 plus 0, because you see that here y1 equal to 0 and here y2 equal to 0. So y1 plus y2 equal to 0 plus 0 equal to 0, and similarly z1 plus z2 means here z1 equal to 0 and z2 equal to 0. So therefore this is equal to 0. So second component and third component of alpha plus beta is separately 0. So alpha plus beta is in W. Thus for all alpha beta in W, alpha plus beta is in W. So this is the first condition for subspace which is satisfied by satisfied in W. Now I check the second condition. For that condition we have to choose an scalar, that is I choose C in R and a vector alpha x1 y1 z1 in W. Now C dot alpha equal to, C dot alpha means C into x1 y1 z1, that is cx1 cy1 cz1. It is clearly is in R3 because it has 3 component. Okay. Now C alpha is in W if cy1 equal to 0 and cz1 equal to 0, because you see that in W the elements are x y z such that y equal to 0, z equal to 0. So here C alpha will be in W if cy1 equal to 0 and cz1 equal to 0. Okay. Now cy1 and cy2 are 0 because you see that cy1 equal to c into 0 into 0, because alpha equal to x1 y1 z1 is in W. Okay, since x1 y1 z1 is in W, therefore y1 equal to 0 and z1 equal to 0. So here c dot 0 equal to 0, therefore cy1 equal to 0. Similarly cz1 is also equal to 0. So second condition and second and third component of C alpha are separately 0. So C alpha is in W. Thus for all C in R and alpha in W, C dot alpha is in W. So both the conditions for subspace are satisfied. Okay. So you can conclude that for all alpha beta in W, alpha plus beta is in W, and for all C in R, alpha in W, C dot alpha in W. These are the conditions for subspace. So both the conditions are satisfied. Therefore W is a subspace of the real vector space R3. Okay. I hope that you understand that problem. Now I give another example. In example 2, let W equal to x, y, z such that 2x plus 3y plus 4z equal to 0. Examine whether W is a subspace or R3 or not. Here W is same as previous problem, but the condition is different from previous problem. In previous problem, the condition was y equal to 0 and z equal to 0, but here the condition is 2x plus 3y plus 4z equal to 0. That is 2 into first component plus 3 into second component plus 4 into third component equal to 0. Okay, at first you have to check that W is non-empty set. For that purpose, I suggest you to check 0 0 0 is in W or not. Clearly 0 0 0 is in W, because 2 into first component, that is 2 into 0, plus 3 into second component, that is 3 into 0, plus 4 into third component, that is 4 into 0. 2.0 plus 3.0 plus 4.0 equal to 0. Therefore this is in W. So W is a non-empty subset of R3. You have to choose two elements. Suppose x, alpha and beta, two elements in W. Here alpha has three components. The components are x1, y1, z1, and beta has also three components. The components are x2, y2, z2. Since alpha is in W, therefore 2 into first component, 3 into second component, 4 into third component will be 0. That is 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 4z1 equal to 0, and similarly 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 4z2 equal to 0. Okay, since alpha beta is in W. Now we have to calculate alpha plus beta. Just calculation is same as previous problem. You have to add component wise. This is x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2, z1 plus z2. Clearly it has three components. Alpha plus beta has three components. Therefore alpha plus beta is in R3. But alpha beta may or may not in W. Now alpha beta will be an element in W if 2 into first component plus 3 into second component plus 4 into third component equal to 0, then alpha plus beta will be an element in W. For that purpose we calculate 2 into x1 plus x2 plus 3 into y1 plus y2 plus 4 into z1 plus z2. Now we simplify it. Take x1, y1, z1 together and x2, y2, z2 together. For that purpose this is equal to 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 4z1 and 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 4z2. Again this is equal to 0 for that condition. So this is 0 and here this is 0. Therefore second term, this is 2x2 plus 3y2 plus 4z2 equal to 0. Therefore 0 plus 0 equal to 0. So here in alpha plus beta, 2 into first component plus 3 into second component and 4 into third component is equal to 0. So alpha plus beta is in W. Okay, this was the problem. So alpha plus beta is in W. Thus alpha plus beta in W implies that alpha plus beta is in W. Now we have to check second condition. For that purpose we have to choose a scalar. Suppose C is in R. Now C dot alpha means Cx1 plus Cy1, Cx1, Cy1, Cz1, three components. This is clearly C alpha is in R3. Now I have to check that conditions for C alpha. For that purpose we calculate 2 into Cx1 plus 3 into Cy1 plus 4 into Cz1. If you take common C from that relations, therefore you get C into 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 4z1. Again this is actually 0 since the components of alpha are x1, y1, z1. So 2x1 plus 3y1 plus 4z1 equal to 0. Therefore this is equal to C dot 0, that is 0. So C alpha is in W. Thus C in R, alpha in R implies that C dot alpha is in W. Thus we get two conditions for subspace. The first condition was for all alpha beta in W, alpha plus beta is in W, and the second condition for all C in R, alpha in W, C alpha is in also W. Hence W is a subspace of R3. Okay, I hope that you understand that problem also. Now I give another example. In example 3, let W equal to x, y, z such that 2x plus 3y plus 4z equal to 1. Actually in previous problem, that is in example 2, I take the relation 2x plus 3y plus 4z equal to 0 in previous problem and I calculate it. In problem 1, that is in example 1, I said that actually I check W as non-empty by checking the elements 0 0 0 is in W or not, because it has two benefits. The first benefit is you can check it by non-empty, and second benefit will be discussed in that present problem. And you see that here 0 0 0 is not in W because 2.0 plus 3.0 plus 4.0, that is left hand side is 0 but right hand side is 1, therefore 0 0 0 0 0 0, that is theta null vector in R3. This is not in W. Okay, because left hand side 0, right hand side non 0, therefore 0 0 0 is not in W, but W is still non-empty, because you can check another elements. Suppose W is non-empty subset of R3 because my half 0 0 is in W. If you put x equal to half, y equal to 0, z equal to 0, then this satisfies that relation, therefore this is an element in W. You can check another elements also. There are many elements. Suppose here x equal to half, y equal to 4, z equal to minus 3, half minus 4, half comma minus 4 comma plus 3 is also in W. There are many elements, but here 0 0 0 is not in W. 0 0 0 is not W. Therefore, W is not a subspace of R3. Why? Because we know that every vector space, or every subspace of vector space contains the null vector of V. Since R3 is a vector space, it contains obviously 0 0 0, that is null vector theta, but here W does not contain 0 0 0. But since if W be a subspace, then it is also vector space. So therefore, it have to contain the element 0 0 0. But here 0 0 0 is not in W. So W is not a subspace, because we know every subspace of vector space must contain the null vector of V. Okay. So when I suggest you have to check the non-empty, the set is non-empty or not by 0 0 0, because if 0 0 0 does not belong in W, then you can conclude that it is not subspace. If it is in W, then it is non-empty, and then you have to calculate the remaining portion, further calculate. Okay. So I suggest you to check the set is non-empty or not by the null element. Okay. Now I give another example, example 3. There 0 0 0 is in the set, but it is still not a subspace. This is an example xy equal to z, whether subspace of R3 or not. We just said the condition is xy equal to z, that is multiplication of first two element is equal to multiplication of first two component is equal to third component. Okay. Solution, it is non-empty because 0 0 0 is in W. Now you have to check remaining conditions, remaining two conditions. You know all the conditions. In first condition you have to choose two elements. Suppose I choose here two vectors alpha and beta in W. Alpha has three components. The components are x1, y1, z1, and beta has also three components. The components are x2, y2, z2. Since alpha is W is in W, therefore multiplication of first two elements of alpha, that is x1, y1 equal to z1, and x2, y2 must be equal to z2. Okay. Now you have to calculate alpha plus beta. Alpha plus beta equal to x1 plus x2, y1 plus y2, z1 plus z2. Clearly it is in R3. Now alpha plus beta will be an element of W if multiplication of first two elements, that is first two components, that is x1 plus x2 into y1 plus y2. If multiplication of that two components is equal to z1 plus z2, then we can conclude that alpha plus beta is in W. For that purpose, I calculate x1 plus x2 into y1 plus y2. This is equal, if you multiply this will be x1 y1 plus x2 y1 plus x1 y2 plus x2 y2. Okay, x1 y1 plus x2 y1 and then x1 y2 x2 y2. Now here you see that x1 y1 plus x2, here x1 y1 is z1 and this is z2, x2 y2 equal to z2. Therefore z1 plus z2 in remaining portion means x2 y1 plus x1 y2. But you have to show that x1 plus x2 into y1 plus y2 equal to z1 plus z2, because alpha plus beta will be in W if multiplication of first two component, that is this, is equal to Z1 plus Z2. This portion is extra. If this is equal to 0, if this portion is equal to 0, then we can conclude that alpha plus beta is in W. But here which is always not equal to Z1 plus Z2, because if we choose x1, x2, y1, y2 in such a manner that x2, y1 plus x1, y2 not equal to 0, then alpha plus beta is not in W. If this is equal to 0, then multiplication of first two component is equal to third component. If it is not equal to 0, then multiplication of first two component is not equal to third component. So for that case, that is when x1, x2, y1 plus x1, y2, that is this portion is non-zero, then alpha plus beta is not in W. So you have to collect some examples in such a satisfying that relation. For that purpose, here I choose an example. Here alpha is 1 to 2 and beta is minus 2, 3, comma minus 6. Clearly alpha beta is in W, because here you see that alpha and beta are elements in R3, because both of alpha beta have 3 components. And for alpha 1.2, that is multiplication of first two component, that is 1.2 equal to 2, that is equal to third component. And for beta, multiplication of first two component, that is minus 2 into 3, that means minus 6, which is equal to third component. So both are is in W, but alpha plus beta equal to 1 into minus 2 means minus 1, 2 into 3, second component plus second component is 5, and last component plus last component, that is 2 into minus 6 equal to minus 4. This is not W, because here it is in R3, but multiplication of first two component is 5 into minus 1, that is minus 5, which is not equal to minus 4. So alpha plus beta is in not W, since minus 1.5 equal to minus 4. Here alpha beta in W, but alpha plus beta is not in W. Okay, so W is not a subspace of R3. Okay, I hope that you understand that video. Please see another video. Anyway, thank you. Have a good day.